I'd like to call the Tuesday, March 3rd, 2015 City of Oldsmar City Council meeting to order. I ask you to please rise for our invocation and our pledge that will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Our Heavenly Father, send down your blessing on this meeting of the City Council and upon the individual members who comprise it. Give the council members a clear sense of duty and lead them to the faithful discharge of the same. Direct them in their deliberations at this meeting so that all things may be done to the glory of thy name and the welfare of the people of Oldsmar. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and once again, welcome. Our first item tonight on the agenda is our Citizens Open Forum, where we allow you to address the City Council. We ask you to keep it to no more than 5 minutes, state your name and address clearly for the record, and you are allowed to talk about anything on the agenda. If it is a public hearing item, we would just ask that you hold those comments until that item comes up. Having said that, anybody on this side of the room like to address the council? Jerry? The female Jerry.
There's a number of us, and that button started before I got up here. No.
Time's up.
I know. As Jerry Antozzi, 509 Shore Drive East, as volunteer curator of the Oldsmar Historical Society, I would like to invite you to some exciting upcoming programs. Last month, we had a great attendance with Bruce Haddock. He was our speaker. He brought out 40 people on a Saturday morning, so that was great, and he presented a lot about Oldsmar. April 4th is a Saturday, 10 a.m. This is a free event. We're going to have a historic walking tour. It's going to be led by Gabby McGee, our very own City Council member. It's about 1.2 miles. We covered in about an hour. So please meet right here at the Oldsmar Bank Building at 10 a.m. and we'll have a lot of fun. Saturday, April 11th, from 10 to 11, we have 3 speakers. So it's a busy day that day. We're going to have Orchid Rogers, Nancy Mulligan, and Bert Weber. And those that live in town see a connection there. They're all interested in the library. 2 of them have been paid city librarians. Bruce Haddock hired Nancy Mulligan as our first city paid librarian. And I didn't get the exact date for tonight, but she's volunteered to come. And
what was the exact date?
It was 1987.
1987. And when you start talking to the different librarians, Orchid Rogers was a volunteer, like library director. And then you hired Nancy Mulligan. And then she was talking about the library starting over at the senior center.
Yes, that's right.
And I didn't know that, but you know. And then Bert Weber's going to be talking. So it's going to be neat. And so that's going to be April 11th. From 10 to 11, right here in the Oldsmar Historic Bank Building. And it's free, it doesn't cost anything. And for those that are watching that don't live in Oldsmar, it's 101 State Street West. So that's why it's right across from the Oldsmar City Hall. I wanted to mention Jerry Beverland tonight. He is the town historian. I always try to keep up with him to learn as much as I can from him, and he knows a lot of secret things about Oldsmar. So one of these days, we'll get Wanda, and we'll go on a trip around town. He can show me special places around town. But
he has more secrets than I do.
And he's lived a lot of history. He hasn't lived the whole history of Oldsmar, but he's lived a lot of the history. And if you go back to April 12, 1916, that's when R.E. Olds bought the 37,541 acres from the estate of Richard G. Peters, and that was the beginning, the founding of Oldsmar with that purchase. And later on, not this meeting, but another meeting, you'll hear more about the People's Centennial Task Force, because next year it'll be 100 years from when he bought the property. So it's going to be exciting. I wanted you to know that Jerry Beverland comes by the museum every night when there's a council meeting night. But the draw is not only signing in, but he gets M&Ms. So, you know, he donates other things to the museum. So many artifacts have come in. So he keeps me busy as a volunteer to try to catalog things and archive it. So at this time, I want to thank Jerry for his support, and I hope when you're not on city council, you can volunteer and help us, or anyone else out there listening, come and help. But I have, and he likes the peanut ones.
Wow.
He turns red.
Everyone else jealous? Oh, you got
She
your
brings
bow.
them every Tuesday, every council. Thank you.
Good, because I always take his.
You can have these now.
Just don't open the bag tonight.
Jerry.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. The fun size.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Jerry, for all that you do for the city. And you're really the town historian, and we try to keep up with you. And that's the truth. Thank you. And you know he has 3 books.
Yes.
And the 4th one's on the way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Anybody else on this side of the room? Yep. I'll get you next, Ruben. Okay. You were sitting behind each other.
You just said yes.
I know.
Good evening, Don McCullers, 343 Country Club Drive. I just wanted to come up here tonight because, you know, a lot of times you hear a lot of positive and a lot of times you hear a lot of negative, and I do want to thank each and every one of you for participating in our great city. It is a, you know, beautiful place. It's been here a long time. It's got a great history, and it's come a long, long way. But I especially want to thank you, Jerry, for all the hard service that you've put in over the years of my 35 plus years, and I'll stop there. Being around this city and a part of this city, you know, I've seen you do a lot of things. Our roads are paved today because of this man. We have a sewer plant. We have a city because of this guy. I can count on my hand, one hand that is even, and I don't count very high, the number of people that really, really, really have this city at heart. And that man is one of them right there. And personally, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all you've done for Oldsmar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John. Ruben?
One thing, Don saved one of the original, what do you call that thing?
Peter Totter?
One of the original scales from our original plant. Did you not?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
You've been a good friend.
Thanks, Don. Ruben?
Good evening. Ruben Hernandez, 309 Exeter Street. I'm here, I was asked to come here tonight to let you all know about the Oldsmar ARP Chapter 4456. ARP, which is the American Association of Retired Persons. It was started back in 1980, and I believe Tom Pinta was the first president for the first 10 years. The Oldsmar chapter is the only organized ARP chapter in the greater North Pinellas County area. We meet every second Thursday of every month at the Peggy O'Neill's over by where Roundup used to be. And just like to extend an invitation to all who are ARP members or 50 and older and want to know more about ARP to come out second Thursday of every month at Peggy O'Neill's. Thank you. And Jerry, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Dan?
Janice tried to get me to go to one of those one time. I said, I don't think I can go with you to that one.
Dan Belcher, 1791 Split Fork Drive. Just a brief comment to say thank you all. I've spoken with all of you to some certain extent, running for city council for Jerry's esteemed seat that I don't know that any of us will be able to fill if elected. But I wanted to thank all of you wanted to, in particular, thank Kathy and Ann for their assistance. I have to tell you a story. I have some back problems that I deal with from playing football too many years, and had to turn in a financial report for the campaign a couple of weeks ago to Ann. Couldn't make it out of the car. Ann actually walked down to my car and picked it up from me as an angel, absolute angel, and she's been tremendous help. And this being my first experience running for office, I couldn't have asked for a better group of folks to work with. And Bruce, I want to thank you and thank all of your department heads for the time that they spent with me, learning more about the city that I thought I knew a lot about, but I know so much more now. So I appreciate it, and I thank you all.
Thank you. Next, Ann.
You never know how much the city clerk's office,
Does.
for me, has kept me out of trouble over the years. The only other guy that might even come close to matching them would be the guy sitting right here who would kick me when I was mayor.
Anybody else on this side of the room? Nope. Anybody on this side of the room? Loretta first.
Good evening, Loretta White, 601 Shore Drive East. I have a couple of items, Mayor and Council. This is it for you, huh, Jerry?
For now.
Yes.
For now.
We're going to miss you. We got a little trivia.
Loretta, when you say that, I am impressed, and I thank you.
I don't say that very often. I got a little trivia for you. Do you remember where the first motel was in Oldsmar and what the name of it was?
The O'Day?
No,
No,
that was the
first
second one. Remember the first one?
Well, and now I know that the rest.
No, that was an inn. I'm talking about a motel. Okay. It was, you know where Johnson Station is? He sold it now. Right there at that corner, St. Pete Drive and State Street. It was about 4 units. The only other person in Oldsmar that remembers that is me and Marilyn Schonburn.
You know, no matter how much you think you know everything, you find out you
Well,
don't
you
know
like trivia,
everything.
so I thought I'd bring that to you. I had to give that to you tonight.
I did not know that.
Well, we're sure going to miss you, Jerry.
Thank you, brother.
When you lose continuity, that's not always good. A couple other items. I want to thank Dan for mentioning our Camp Wekiva at the last meeting, and just wanted to update everybody. I think you all got letters, at least I hope you did, from the top of the Bay Garden Club. We're having our annual fundraiser at East Lake Woodlands Country Club on the 21st of this month. 6 o'clock social hour, a 6:30 dinner, $25 a person. And what we do is we send children to Camp Wekiva. It's in Apopka, close to Orlando. And it's local school children that we send. And if you happen to be a member, then if you have children or grandchildren that are school age, we send them also. So we hope that you'll all come out and support us, and you'll have a great time. We're going to have a Chinese auction, a silent auction, and we're also going to have a live auction. And one of the things that we're doing this year for the live auction that we've never done before, we're auctioning off a dinner for 4 at the Flamestone with a mystery celebrity. And I think you'll all be impressed at who it is. So I can't wait to bid on that myself. But if you come, we're not telling who it is, you have to be there, but come and have a good time. You'll have a good time. The food's good, and we don't last too long. Sometimes we have door prizes too, so I guarantee you'll have a good time. So try to come out. We don't get too many new council people there. Doug, you go to Oldsmar Cares, but I don't see you in many of ours, so we need you to come once in a while. We need you to come. So
try and do that.
if you, I think you got a letter from Sandy Sears, so.
We did get one.
Yeah, so please come out, and I'm sorry I missed your Mother's Day Saturday.
Thank you for the card.
I'm sorry. Okay, and the second thing I've got is, don't forget we've got an election coming up next Tuesday. I know a lot of people say to me, well, what election? Well, we've got 2 charter questions, and we've got a seat coming up, so I just want to remind everybody to come out and vote. 3 voting places in Oldsmar, City Library, Fire Station, and Gulaire. And if you have gotten a absentee ballot, as they call them, it's write-in ballot, really, like the mayor gets. If you got one in the mail and you want to vote at the precinct, please come, and we'll just cancel that out and let you vote. So
You have to bring that packet with
please
you.
bring the packet with you if you want to vote in your precinct. So we're happy to have you do that. So please come out and vote. Don't forget about it. It's next Tuesday from 7 to 7. Okay, and I think that's about it. Anyway, Jerry, we'll be looking over there, and we won't see your face, but we'll be thinking about you.
Thank you, Loretta.
Okay.
Loretta, I wanted to tell you that one of my proudest moments as an Oldsmar citizen was when y'all gave me the Garden of the Month, and I hadn't been involved in much.
Oh, you
at
had a
that
beautiful
point, 'cause
yard.
I
You
was-
still do.
I was working, and I had just had surgery, and they wanted to take a picture, and I was like, I had like, you know, special things that I had to wear, and I didn't care. I just covered up, and, and I went out, and I was so proud to get that certificate for Yard of the
Well,
Month.
we were
That
happy
was
to give
great.
it to you. We still give those.
Yeah.
Community News carries it, and I think it's going to be on I think it's on the website already, isn't it?
I don't know if last one was, but yeah.
So look for us there. We'll be there. But come out and join us on the 21st. We'd love to have you there, okay? Thank you.
Thanks, Loretta.
I saw a couple other hands. John Benincasa.
Yeah, my name is John Benincasa. I live at 125 Camphor Circle, Unit D in Oldsmar. I'm also on the board of directors of the condo association back there. Gardens of Forest Lake Condo Association. I'm asking here to ask you tonight to possibly see if you can get in the budget to repave Lakeview Drive between Forest Lakes Boulevard and Hunter Lake Drive. Jerry, as you know, because you used to own a unit back there in our condos, did you not? I remember many years ago. That part of the road actually services quite a lot of traffic. It services all about the 100 or so houses that are back there. There's 2 sets of villas plus 160 unit condos. And that one set of road has gotten about 10 potholes or 12 fixed in the last 6 months. Now, the city's been really, really excellent about my request to have them fixed. I do appreciate that. I really do. They've done a fabulous job, and I thank them for it. But the fact of the matter is that road gets a ton of traffic. It's beat up as all get up, and it really does need to be repaved, especially considering the amount of traffic it is. Now, again, that's from Lakeview Drive off Forest Lakes Boulevard out to Hunter Lake. So if there's anything all of you could do to possibly get in the budget to have it repaved sooner rather than later, I would appreciate it. I know that my fellow owners and residents back in Forest Lakes would appreciate it, and it would do a lot of good for all these good people that live back there.
Thanks. It's on a repaving schedule. I don't know what it is, but we'll look into it and see.
Yeah, if you could just, because really, it's you know, it's really getting kind of beat up, and rather than constantly putting potholes back there and patch, let's just repave the whole thing. That's just that one section. And I would really genuinely appreciate it.
It is bad.
Okay.
I would really appreciate your efforts on it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're looking into it. Thanks. Mike?
Mike McKnight, 881 Edge Hill Drive, Palm Harbor. I'm usually up here for Oldsmar Cares, but tonight I'm actually here for the Rotary Club of Oldsmar Eastlake. I'm here to announce the 33rd annual Oldsmar Armadillo Run, which is a week from Saturday the 14th. We, as the Rotary Club, one of our biggest projects every year is the Student of the Month at all the elementary schools, Forest Lakes, Oldsmar Elementary, plus Lake St. George over in Palm Harbor. We also do programs for the Interact Club at Eastlake High School and other programs in the community, plus worldwide we do polio eradication. So these funds that we raise from our event are for those local programs like the schools. And we also do the Adoptive Family at Christmas time in conjunction with the city and the sheriff. So it's a great cause. We are looking for 2 things still. We would love to have more runners or walkers. We have our 1 mile walk, 5K run or walk. People do walk that, and the 10K, people can still walk that. Any of those would be great. The 5K, 10K start at 7:30 in the morning. If you haven't signed up already, you can sign up online at armadillorun.org or show up on Saturday. About a half hour beforehand would be good to participate. The 1 mile starts at 8:45 that morning. The other thing we do for Oldsmar Cares is we do collect food. Any runners that want to bring a donation of food to Oldsmar Cares, we accept that as well and take that over to Oldsmar Cares when the event is over. But we'd encourage anybody to get out, and if you still haven't signed up, go online and sign up, or come that day and sign up. If you want to volunteer, I know Oldsmar Cares had sent out in their email newsletter the link to sign up. or you can do it online, or you could contact me. I'll send Ann a note of what the link is, but you can still sign up or show up on Saturday as a volunteer. We'll find somewhere for you to serve. We definitely need people to help clip chips off the runners and at the water stations out on the course. So all that would be appreciated.
Clip chips off the runners?
Yeah, so the runners get little chips that are tied to their shoelaces, but at the end of the race, they got to pick at their foot, and somebody's got to cut those off. So they're chip clippers, timing chips.
Okay.
They're for timing chips.
Do you run it, Gabby?
Yeah, I did last year, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I'm actually out of town that weekend, so I know, or else I would run it. It's right
You
down.
mentioned the student of the month, and you do that. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
At both schools. Is there a way you can get us that information just so we kind of know what it is and who they are?
Yeah,
When
sure,
You guys do
sure.
that? That'd be nice. We're trying to build our relationship with the schools, and so.
They used to do that with the chamber.
Yeah.
They don't do, you don't have your monthly meetings anymore, do you? They used to have that at the monthly meetings.
Yeah, so we do it over at Flankstone once a month. We do it with each of the schools. And there's a couple extra programs, one for Rising Star and a couple other programs besides the regular Student of the Month, too.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll get that information.
Yeah, get it to the clerk's office. That'd be nice to know. I don't know what we'll do with it, but just
Okay.
nice to know we're trying to build. We just did a We Mean Business with all the schools in Oldsmar, so,
Right.
Yep, that'd be great.
Well, we even, at one time, we even recognized them maybe twice a year up here at the council meetings. A student of the
Well,
decade or
Yeah, we might be able to do.
We could round up
Yeah, we might be able to do some. So,
from
yeah,
all the schools, maybe.
Well,
Okay,
Mayor,
perfect.
I'll bring-
Thanks. Yeah.
One other
Thanks,
thing, you won't have me here after to do this, so 2 quick stories.
Okay. I expected this tonight already.
On the Armadillo Run. When I was mayor, they had, what do you call them, the chase car or whatever it is? The mayor would sit in the,
Oh, I know this story.
the mayor would sit in the lead car and then they'd go down the way and you had the 10K and the 5K or whatever.
You were the pace car.
And we had some national runners that particular year. This was this story. And I sent the national runners on, I think it was the 10K. What starts first, the 5K?
Actually, the 5K and the 10K actually start at the same time, and there's a turnaround for the 5K, and the
Right.
10Ks keep going down Short Drive.
I sent the 5K people down the wrong.
So they went to 10K?
Did they go farther or shorter?
I'm not sure, I disappeared. I'm lying to you now, but I was actually asked never to show up again. You know how bad I felt? The other time, we had one of the Olympic runners here, distant runners in the Armadillo Run. And we almost did not outrunning. I mean, when we finally finished, this guy was so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, he was way ahead of everybody else. This was an Olympic that had been in the past Olympics that year. He was from Kenya or somewhere like that. That's the 2 stories.
The other thing I should have mentioned too was it starts and ends at the Oldsmar Library. So you definitely do want to get there early if you're participating. Parking's a little premium in that area, as everyone knows. So we have 600, 800 runners. So good to get there early and find a parking spot nearby.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Registration at right now, do you know? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I know it's over 300. I will say Nielsen, I work at Nielsen, we are actually sponsoring our own set of walkers runners that Nielsen is paying for them. So that's an addition to the normal group. So we've got 60 some or 70 some runners from Nielsen this year. So
Thanks, Mike.
Great. Thanks. Anybody else? Yeah, Dave?
David Wallace, 412 Shore Drive. I came up to say 2 brief things. First, Oldsmar Cares is proud to announce that we started an employment agency this Monday, yesterday, and we are looking for both people who want or need jobs and people who have jobs. We're doing this just for the city of Oldsmar, people who live in the city of Oldsmar, and for businesses that operate in the city of Oldsmar. So we'll be doing that. We're going to try to match up people with jobs. We're going to help with resumes. We're going to teach skills about interviewing. We're going to be doing this. Anyone in the city of Oldsmar can apply. Any company or corporation in the city of Oldsmar or anywhere else, as far as we're concerned, can certainly tell us about jobs they may have. And they can be any type, all types. And second, I wanted to say, Jerry, thank you very much for all your service. You've been a wonderful leader for this community. I'm very proud to live here and see people such as you who has done so much for the city to make it what it is today. Thank you all for this time.
Thank you.
Hey, my wife read that somewhere, and she told me to raise my hand whenever you get people's jobs.
Well, I started to say, and Jerry, since this is your last night, but I figure you probably have a well-deserved retirement. But you can always come and volunteer with us. We'd love that. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Eric?
Eric Seidel, 114 Shore Drive Place in beautiful Oldsmar, Florida. Just a couple of quick comments. As someone who always is running for City Council, City 1, I want to take just a minute with a week before the elections to echo Dan's sentiments as it relates to the support from the staff and what a difference it makes. I think between Kathy and Ann, they're probably getting tired of my emails with the heading, just one quick question. And so, although I have kind of a different recollection of that story that Dan just told, because our finance reports were due, and I'm beating the clock because I know at 5 o'clock, and so that same day, I come running up there, huffing and puffing, ink barely dry, and Ann's on her way out. I say, hey, by the way, did the other candidates get their reports in? And she said to me, oh, almost, I'm going down to pick Dan's up out in the driveway. He's driving by. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I hurt my leg. No. But it was pretty funny. But that's kind of the good nature and spirit of the way the race has been. And I wanted to make a point of saying thank you to Jerry and to Wanda for all of the sacrifices over the years and all the things you've done for the city and the people in the city. And I'm one of them. And so I remember over a decade ago, I don't know, it was probably 15 years ago, when I moved I was the CEO of a public company, moved our company here to Oldsmar, and the first people I met, I think, was Bruce and Jerry, and I think Kevin Gartland, who came into our company and from the chamber, and I spent time talking with them, and we were a pretty decent sized company, probably 130, 140 employees at the time, and walking around and told them about our Cookie Fridays and, some of the things we did. And I said to Jerry, listen, if there's something you need from us in the community, call us. And I thought, this is a pretty cool town, right? I mean, we've been in Palm Harbor before that and never saw a soul. And 2 days later, Jerry called us, we need something. He goes, we have this wonderful program called, I think it was called Neighbor Helping Neighbor.
Neighbor Helping Neighbor.
And it was wonderful. So we got like 20 of our folks out along with a bunch of other people. I think we went and painted some people's homes who were elderly and couldn't care for themselves that way. And
painted their houses, we trimmed their trees.
Their trees. And so that got me involved. And I think that, your greatest legacy will likely be not only what you've actually done for the city that you can put your hands on, but I think it's going to be the amount of people that you got involved to carry that legacy forward. So thank you for all of your service, and thank you, Wanda, for lending them to us. So anyhow, thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Anybody else on this side of the room? Anybody else in the room that would like to address council? Seeing no one, we'll close the citizens open forum. We got the mayor's minute coming up, but I want to take a brief minute. It's not on the agenda. Vice Mayor Norris, myself, Mr. Beverland, and a group of other people went out today. We'll start the slideshow, I think, here. Maybe. We got the privilege of going down to the property next to Linda's, and this is a rescue bird that in November flew into a guy wire over at Tower Lake. And injured itself. It's an interesting story. The young man and his girlfriend that found it were going skiing. She's a part of the ski team out there, and they were going to ski on Saturday. She got sick. They left her car there and went home. And then they went back Sunday to get it, and that's when they found this bird injured on the ground. They called the Oldsmar Fire Rescue, who came out and then got the Audubon Society involved. They had surgery at Busch Gardens, a 3-hour-long surgery. They said it was a unique surgery and a unique break that they didn't even think it would ever be able to fly again. It was rehabbed in Maitland, and then today we got to be a part of, that's the young lady that captured it right there, holding it. And we got to watch it, and it was on the news tonight on Channel 10 and 13, and watch them release it back into the wild. So an interesting story and just kind of a neat day, I thought, down there to see that. We were fairly close from here to the podium, and she said, "You're probably going to want to duck because you don't want the eagle's talon to grab your head as it flies by." And so we did. I don't know if I think I was next to Deb, and I was videotaping, and as it started we counted down 10 to 1, and she kind of threw it, and it kind of came down and was coming right at us. And then it finally went up and circled around, and I think it went to Jack Willie's for lunch or something. But
that last picture, he's sitting right underneath that eagle. I was hoping that the eagle would
land on your head.
That would have been a good story.
Well, and officially you're not supposed to name them, but we unofficially named her Divinity because of all of the divine things that happened. Like if the girl weren't sick and the car weren't left and the boyfriend wouldn't have had to go back to get the car, the bird wouldn't have been found. So many things happened. So unofficially, it's Divinity, and that's actually my house right there. And I'm so glad that I painted the shed.
I like your tree in the backyard.
And those are my trees right there. And I'm really, really hoping, because she flew around and she went behind my house and then over toward Brent Circle to the Seaside Estates, and then she sat on the ground, and then she went up into a tree. And the reason that they chose the property next door, my neighbor's property, it's the acre and a half, was because there's documented eagles' nests other places in Oldsmar, and they wanted to make sure that if she did choose this place to come back and nest, that it wasn't too close to the other documented nests. So I'm praying. I'm going to be out there every day in my backyard looking for her. It was an honor.
Yeah, it was neat, and I think she's about 3 years old, so she hadn't even gotten her white. You can see there her white head. So it was definitely an interesting day, and it was funny. That young lady that was bringing the bird in, and that's Barbara from the Audubon Society, and the young lady that was there, and they were en route, and the eagle was asleep on her lap as they were driving over, so getting rested, and so it's off. I assume they have a tag on it or something, and so you'll see it. Channel 10 and 13 both did a segment on it. Channel 10 said they were in Dunedin. I was there. It was in Oldsmar. So
did they really?
Yeah, they tagged it they tagged it. So Deb logged in as the mayor on my Facebook page and said, "I was there. I think it was in Oldsmar, not Dunedin." So. But anyway, thanks to Deb and the city staff for putting that together. I thought it was neat and wanted to share that with everybody.
It was awesome.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Next item in the Mayor's Minute is Oldsmar Little League Opening Day. I was honored to be out there to be part of opening day. Great to see all the kids that came out to be a part of that. I mean, Little League is such a great thing. Councilman Beverland was out there, and it's just really neat to see the kids still enjoying baseball, seeing the families getting involved in that, and it was a great turnout. Also, don't forget daylight savings time, spring ahead 1 hour this Sunday. So make sure that you do that. Oldsmar Fire Rescue asking to remind you to change the batteries in your smoke alarm, and I will tell you that that is very true, because last time when we fell back at 3 o'clock in the morning on daylight savings time, my batteries in my smoke alarm went out. So I had my alarm chirping all night on daylight savings day. So it's definitely do it. And I think, as the candidates mentioned, Tuesday, March 10th is the election in Oldsmar. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 3 candidates are running, and there are 3 charter amendments on there. And just for your information, I've been asked about the amendments. It really is a housekeeping issue. All 3 of those items are really a housekeeping issue. Because of the way voting has changed over the years with mail-in ballots, the clerk's office who handles that part of it, we looked at the calendar and really changed the times and things like that so that we could be in line with the way the system runs now. So they're really just housekeeping measures if you want to know what those three things are on there. Having said that, that's everything that I have on the Mayor's Minute. Our next item is the Community Redevelopment Agency, and it's scheduled a work session on Market Square. And Bruce, do you want to? We really only have one date, as I understand.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. In coordinating the schedule with Steve Vermey, we concluded that Monday, March 30th would be the day that worked. Hopefully for him, it was the best between the two choices, so hopefully that would work. And the purpose of the work session is to give the council an update on the project. We will, of course, have a new council member in office at that time, so of course we want to make sure they're up to speed and give them an opportunity to provide input on the project. So if the council's in agreement, we will schedule the work session for Monday, March 30th at 4 p.m. It'll be here in the work session room.
It's good for me.
Yep, I can make it.
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our consent docket. Only one item, approve the minutes of the December 2nd, 2014 City Council meeting. If nobody wishes to pull that, I need a motion.
So
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is the City of Oldsmar, and that is the presentation of the business of the quarter, and Vice Mayor Norris is going to do that.
Okay, so this is the Business of the Quarter Award for March 2015. And once again, I am proud to recognize another great Oldsmar business as our Business of the Quarter for March 2015. Sunbelt Staffing is one of the country's leading healthcare staffing companies. Founded in 1988, Sunbelt Staffing has been leading healthcare has been devoted to healthcare for over 25 years. They have proudly called Oldsmar home for over 7 years. They employ 85 full-time workers who serve hundreds of contract employees that serve the healthcare and education sectors nationwide. This is my favorite part. Sunbelt Staffing's mission statement is to make life better for those who make life better. They do this through their two divisions, education and nursing. In the nursing division, Sunbelt places registered nurses into clinical settings, primarily hospitals nationwide. The schools division places special education professionals and therapists in schools to provide care for children who need it. Sunbelt Staffing also is very involved in community activities. Some of the charitable programs they have started include: they've raised money for school teachers at Eisenhower Elementary to buy school supplies. They send about 20 volunteers to be guests and helpers in the classrooms on a monthly basis. And during the holidays, they fulfill Christmas gift wishes for about 40 kids at the children's home. And they spent morning volunteering at Metropolitan Ministries, and host a blood drive about 6 times a year and gets other businesses in the complex to participate. So we are indeed fortunate to have great corporate citizens like Sunbelt Staffing, and they chose to call Oldsmar home, and it is my great honor and pleasure to present the Business of the Quarter Award to Louis, and I don't want to get this wrong. Okay, I'm going to try. Balaguer. Okay, I'm so sorry, Louis. So come on up and get your award. It's well deserved. I love your mission statement. I love it. Congratulations.
So thank you. Yeah. Oh.
Here you go.
I wasn't expecting this. So thank you to the city of Oldsmar for the recognition. I'll be honest with you, I never in a million years thought that we would be recognized for what we do. We just do it because we love doing it, and we love giving back to the communities, and our employees love it. I'm new to Tampa. I just moved here about 8 months ago from Chicago. I love working in Oldsmar. I think it's a great town. I love the people that I get to work with and the communities that we get to serve. Jerry, thank you for the nomination. So thank you.
have somebody come up and be in the picture with us?
Just me.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, you weren't there when we went, but we did a We Mean Business trip there about a year ago.
Good to meet you.
Welcome to Old.
And it's right there, for those that don't know, it's right above Rumba and Salt Rock Grill, which I assume you guys frequent after work. But we went to Sunbelt Staffing, and it was what a professional run office and just some great people. And we really didn't know. We go on We Mean Businesses to find out, the who, why, what, and where. And it was and we're glad to have you here in the city of Oldsmar. And I think when we were there was room for expansion, and hopefully you're, adding people to that work staff and everything. So congratulations.
Thank you. And yes, we are.
Good. And, you might get with Oldsmar Cares because they now have an employment agency. So there you go. Next is not on your agenda, but it's item 3A, and it is the Council Manager Award, and it's going to be done by Councilmember Beverland.
This is a holdover from the last meeting. At the last meeting, I presented the Council Manager Award to the employees of the City of Oldsmar, and I presented it to all the departments head. And the one department that we didn't have a plaque for, we had it for today. See, so you can have this whole thing is by yourself right now. You got the whole attention of everybody.
Gary's last award.
For now.
For now.
The award is for the city attorney's part of the City of Oldsmar. This guy, Oldsmar, is privileged, in my opinion, to have the most incredible city attorney in the whole state of Florida, right here. I make jokes about it, but he is so rigid when it comes to the law and protecting this city that as mayor, he would lean over and say, "You can't do that."
A couple of times.
And after the meetings, I'd say, "Why not?" And he'd say, "Because I said so." Tom, it's an incredible pleasure to present this to you. Thomas J. Trask, the city attorney, the most incredible city attorney of the most incredible city in the whole state of Florida. Thank you for who you are.
Well, I'll just take a minute. Obviously, I enjoy working for the city of Oldsmar. It's going to be 19 years coming up here in April, so it's been a long, long time. And, and I know that I've mentioned this more than once. If it wasn't for you, Mayor, of course I wouldn't be here. I know that. And Bruce has always been there for me, too, as well as the city clerks in the office. So I enjoy it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the award. And I'm hoping that I'm at least another 10 years, maybe, before I retire. Thank you.
So do we. Thank you. I've often asked, why is everybody taller than me?
What was the answer?
He's shrinking.
Councilmember McGee, for the record.
Yeah. Make sure that
The young
Congratulations, Tom.
Because we all really do shrink. I've lost a half inch on my height.
Next item under the City of Oldsmar is consider the appointment to the Leisure Services Advisory Board. Are those that are being appointed here tonight? Oh, hello. Yep.
Hey.
Come on up.
Hey. All here.
Peter, come on up.
Kristen Silliman, 727 Lemonwood Drive, Oldsmar.
Gina Rogers, 411 Shore Drive East, Oldsmar.
Steve Black, 2010 Hudson Court, Oldsmar.
3 we could probably put. Well, thank you so much for volunteering. Does anybody have any questions? It's a very active board, and we hope to see it even become more active as we, do more activities in the city of Oldsmar. Does anybody have any questions for them?
Just lots of thanks.
It's a very active board and a big board too. So thank you so much for stepping forward. And if nobody has any questions, need a motion to approve them?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes
Thanks,
5-0.
guys.
Thank you so much, and thanks for coming out tonight. And tell Judy we said hi, and we hope she's getting better and stay on that diet.
You notice, he doesn't have a hat anymore.
Yeah. Our next item is our proclamation for Florida Bicycle Month, and I'm actually going to pass this down to Vice Mayor Norris to read.
Yay.
She didn't know that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, my goodness. So I just read it just like...
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. From the Office of the Mayor of Oldsmar, Florida, this is the proclamation for Florida Bicycle Month. Whereas bicycling plays an important role in the lives of millions of Florida's residents and visitors by providing means to travel to work, school, and parks, and is a popular form of recreation and exercise, helping to motivate ecotourism. And whereas the Florida Department of Transportation and many local governments throughout the state have adopted goals and policies to develop a multimodal transportation system that supports transportation alternatives, including cycling, and encourages the use of bicycles as a safe mode of transportation on Florida roadways. And whereas bicycle and pedestrian safety has been elevated to a critical priority of the Florida Department of Transportation in order to reduce fatalities and serious injuries on Florida's roadways. And whereas bicycling promotes health and wellness and is an important part of encouraging all citizens to develop habits of physical activity to become or stay fit, avoid obesity, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. And whereas the Florida Bicycle Association and other bicycle safety advocates throughout the state have adopted goals to promote cycling as a safe alternative transportation option, and nearly 25 million residents and tourists participate in cycling annually. And whereas bicycles provide an alternative and economical means of transportation to work, thus increasing access to employment, provide mobility for those without access to a motor vehicle, increases existing road and parking capacity when people choose bicycling for utilitarian trips, and reducing the number of automobiles on roadways reduces emissions and air pollution. Now, therefore, not me, Doug Beavis, the mayor of Oldsmar, Florida, do proclaim March 2015 as Florida Bicycle Month in the city of Oldsmar, dated this 3rd day of March 2015, signed Doug Beavis, mayor. This is so exciting. Do I get to give it to her too?
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Yeah. She probably will. I think. Becky?
I have a few words, yes.
I figured you might.
Yeah, Becky Afonso, 250 Strathmore Avenue, Oldsmar. Thank you, Mayor Vivas and Council. Mayors across the state of Florida and Governor Scott have designated the month of March as Florida Bicycle Month. At the 2015 Florida Transportation Summit held this past January, Secretary of Transportation Jim Boxell announced that the Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT, is working, quote, to ensure that Florida's reputation as a welcoming, friendly, and safe state is true for motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists alike. The bicycle is an important transportation mode and recreational activity here in Florida. All year long, FDOT is committed to supporting safe cycling through a wide range of programs and safety campaigns. The Florida Bicycle Association is proud to call Oldsmar home. and proud to work with FDOT and other stakeholders in their Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow campaign. This campaign serves as a reminder that every life counts, that safety doesn't happen by accident. Bicycling is one of the easiest ways to exercise, with health benefits far outreaching risk. The key is to be attentive, responsible, respectful, and courteous as a bicyclist, as a motorist, and as a pedestrian. If you haven't been on a bicycle in a while, March is your month. I encourage the council, the staff, the residents of Oldsmar to take a ride on the Oldsmar Trail and enjoy one of life's simple pleasures, bicycling. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Becky. Thank you.
Make sure that everybody caught that. The Florida Bicycle Association is now headquartered here because Becky's
the executive director.
The executive director. So it's not that it calls it us home, but it's like headquartered here. It's so cool.
That's neat.
Mayor,
yes.
Before we get into the regular agenda, if you just allow me.
Sure.
2 weeks from today, my incredible, beautiful wife and I is going to celebrate our 59th wedding anniversary.
59?
Way to get brownie points.
59.
Wow.
Next up is our city attorney.
All right, item number 6 on your agenda is adoption of resolution 2015-07 opposing the sale and marketing of tobacco products to youth. This was a resolution that I was asked to prepare. I'll read it by title only. Resolution 2015-07, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar urging retailers to help stop the sale of marketing of tobacco products to the youth population in Pinellas County, Florida, and providing for an effective date. That was a reading of resolution 2015-07 by title only.
And this came about because a couple of the SWAT members came and asked us in other municipalities, and I think we were all kind of taken back by the presentation and how these tobacco companies are marketing these products to kids, putting them, by cigarettes or putting them by candy and flavoring them and everything like that. So obviously directly targeting the kids. I don't know are you from SWAT? No? Anybody here from SWAT? Okay. Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the item? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Anything else?
I just have one other thing, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Jerry, I appreciate the award, and I'm not saying this as a result of getting the reward, but I just wanted you to know that how much I appreciate the knowledge, the leadership, and the passion that you have for the city of Oldsmar. But I think above and beyond that, knowing that you've been a mentor to me here at the city and local government and being a friend, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to miss you. And I appreciate everything you've done for Oldsmar and Wanda. I know that you're always there. Thank you for sharing him with us. So, that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is to consider approval of a flood mitigation agreement with Michael and Evelyn Otto. This is for their home located at 346 Shore Drive East. As I said, this is a flood mitigation project. The council will recall that last month you approved the grant agreement with the Florida Department of Emergency Management in the amount of $238,350. This will remove an existing home that has had multiple flood insurance claims and replace it with a new home meeting the flood elevation requirements, or actually exceeding the current flood elevation requirements. Of course, the Ottos have been involved in this process along with the city as the applicant for many months now. So this is the second part of it is, the agreement with the Ottos. They are responsible for the demolition of the existing structure and the construction of the replacement house. Have any questions or comments? I'd be happy to respond to those. I recommend approval of the agreement with Michael and Evelyn Otto.
Any questions for City Manager? And we're going to be the managers of this grant?
That's right, yes. And we get a small fee for that as well.
Perfect, thanks. When will they start construction or demolition or whatever they do? Do we know?
Not sure. I mean, they have until, I think, January of 17 or sometime.
Okay, so there's I figured there was a time frame
Yeah.
on it. If there's no questions, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and council, the next item, consider approval of an amendment to grant agreement with the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity for the BMX track construction. We are revising the schedule in the grant agreement, and actually what we're asking you to approve this evening has been revised from what's in the packet. We passed out the version that we got today from the state, and those dates are highlighted. Those are the changes from what was in the packet. It is on a tight schedule, but of course, y'all awarded the bid at the last meeting, and contractor will be issued a notice to proceed next week, and everything looks good. So if you have any questions or comments, I'll be happy to respond to those. I do recommend approval of the grant agreement amendment with the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? I think it's great. Looking forward to it going vertical, and I know people are excited about it that I run into. They're looking forward to it. They thought we tore our track down and weren't going to put it back, but I informed of that. If there's no other discussion, all in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 9, consider request to waive special event fee for Relay for Life. I know the council's familiar with this annual event. It's held at Canal Park. This year it will be on April 11th. The amount of the fee waiver is approximately $700. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to respond to those. I recommend approval of the request to waive the special event fee for Relay for Life American Cancer Society.
It's a great event. They came, was it last meeting or the meeting before, and talked about the changes that they've made. They're not going all night long, and trying to encourage more non-team members to come out and be part of the Relay for Life. So I think that's great, raising a lot of money. So if there's no other questions, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Well, I didn't put a lot of thought, quite frankly, into what I might say to Jerry this evening, but of course we have a lot of history. And he's, as Jerry Antozzi pointed out, he is our Oldsmar historian, and sometimes he'll still tell about when he first got elected to the city council in the 1970s. Now, that was so long ago, I wasn't even here. It was a long time ago. So I've kind of, over the years, just disregarded that. I mean, I've seen some pictures, and I know it is a fact that he did serve in the 1970s. And so I was thinking back to when he was first elected, I think that was 1991. And we had 2-year terms, and we still had, we've had the 2-term limit for many years. So he served 4 terms, went off the council in 1995, and I wrote him a letter. I'm not sure I've done that before or since to council members, basically, you know, thanking him for his service, and I enjoyed working with him, and you know, some of the things that were accomplished in those years. Paving the streets was probably the biggest thing. And so I don't know, 1 year goes by. I don't think it was 2, I think it was 1 year. And you ran for mayor, I think is what happened next. And everybody knows then, you know, the history after that. So that was like 20 years ago I wrote that letter. I didn't write him a letter this time.
Yet.
Texting?
No. I told him a week or so ago, I said, I'm not going to give you another sign either. But, as everyone has said, you will be missed. And I think I'll still see you around. And of course, you're welcome at City Hall anytime.
And look out.
Congratulations, Wanda.
Anything else?
That's all.
Thank you. City Clerk.
Yes, agenda item number 10, authorize the city attorney to prepare a resolution revising the name and purpose of the Veterans Memorial Advisory Board. And during the past year, the Veterans Memorial Advisory Board has taken on additional responsibilities as far as planning and coordinating the ceremonies that are veteran-related at the park. So they are asking council to consider 4 changes to the resolution. 1 is to remove the word memorial from the board's name. 2, increase the minimum meeting frequency in section 4 from 6 months to 4 months. Change number 3, add the following purpose to section 5, review and make determination of eligibility for applicants to have names placed on the Veterans Memorial Wall. And 4, add the following purpose to section 5, provide input and guidance for all issues related to Veterans Affairs within the city, including but not limited to Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Purple Heart Day ceremonies. The Veterans Memorial Advisory Board requests that City Council adopt these changes into their resolution, or authorize the city attorney to change the resolution.
Okay. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
In discussion. I know this is about the resolution. One of the items that the advisory board has asked is for them basically to be the deciding factor on who goes onto the wall without any input from the city council. And I'm not comfortable with that. And one of the reasons is recently we made 2 people, Rick Sierra and Jerry Custon, honorary members because of their, not only their military service, but their service to the city in their capacity, both as a community police officer and the Chamber of Commerce. And also Gus and Mike Bilirakis were the other 2 that were honorary citizens, and to put them on the wall. I do understand, you know, their concern for opening Pandora's box on this issue, but I think that the city council has been very respectful of what they do, but also felt that, I don't know, how long has it been since Gus and Mike? So, I mean, this is only 4 people in probably, what, 10 years, maybe?
Actually, Gus is not.
Oh, he's not?
I think it's been over 10 years, but it's a pretty rare event.
Yeah, I don't think the council has ever abused it.
It was 1997 is when Mike was.
Mike was on. So, I mean, almost 20 years, and I don't know. I like the flexibility of the council being able to do that. And it's just interesting, and I don't have the minutes, but as I understand the minutes to have been written from one of the meetings that they had, a comment was made, and I don't know by who, at their meeting, that, you know, a way to circumvent that process about being a resident is to just get a P.O. box. And so you could live in Seattle, Washington, and get a P.O. box in Oldsmar and be considered as a resident and get on the wall, but yet somebody who's, you know, served our country and you know, works in the city of Oldsmar can't be on there. So, I mean, it seems kind of peculiar to me to have that, you know, that you can get on there that way, but yet you know, living here. And I think there's some provisions that if you work in the city, even if you're not here, is that what it is?
There's a provision for employees, I believe, to be
on, even if they don't. So, I mean, I don't think the staff, I mean, the city council has abused the privilege of naming somebody an honorary citizen, and I think it kind of polices itself. I don't know that I'm prepared to give them final authority on who goes on and off of the wall. I think that's a wall for the city. They're an advisory council, and they advise us. And as I said, we take their advice into consideration. We've never turned anybody down. There's how many names on the wall? A couple hundred names on the wall, and we've never overridden them. They've done a great job on policing that, and we've had people that have applied that a lot of people think that because you live in East Lake or East Lake Woodlands that you're part of Oldsmar, but you're not. So there was some that they policed that. So I don't necessarily want to see that, and I don't know what anybody else's thoughts are on that. So
I agree with you.
I agree. Can we throw that out? Can we just take that one item out?
Well, I also don't know if we necessarily need to approve every single name. I mean, if there's a resident in the city of Oldsmar that's also a veteran, I think that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
Could we maybe change that wording to say for non-residents within the city limits of Oldsmar? I mean, I think those are the only circumstances where we really had to make exceptions. I can't imagine us saying a resident within Oldsmar does not deserve to be on the wall or...
And that's where they they do the job of you know, reviewing the applications. And what do you think, Tom?
They already have the ability to make recommendations to you as to who should be on the wall. What they're basically just doing is just adding the language, making the determination of eligibility. But whether it's in the resolution or not, I mean, you always have the authority to do whatever you want on the wall. It's your.
But as I understand it, that's what they were asking for. Is that correct, Bruce? That they were.
That was my understanding, that they wish to have that be delegated, the determination for who goes on the wall.
Mhm.
So
If you want an exception built right into the resolution so they understand that the city council still has some authority, we could build some of that in
That's what I
there
would
for
like.
discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, any comments?
No, I agree. I agree.
So what do you need, a motion? Oh, all you just need is
Want to do
approval.
it for non-residents only? I mean, I'm fine with them approving residents.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And I mean, I think the other just comes before us on a case-by-case basis. It's happened, a couple of times in 20 years, so I don't see it the system is working. I don't know that we need to.
I'll make a motion to change the resolution to include, the city council has final approval on non-residents within the city limits of Oldsmar. Is that correct?
I wouldn't go that route, because sometimes the issue is, were they a resident or not? And my suggestion is that you authorize the city attorney to revise the resolution incorporating items 1, 2, and 4. Okay. And I don't think 3 needs to be addressed. The way that it works, I think, is the way you want it to work.
It's already
keep
there.
working.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's fine.
Yep, I'm good with that.
So is that your motion? Motion to approve. You want to read it again?
Motion to approve excluding item number 3 and including 1, 2, and 4 as they are.
That's the motion. Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Anything else?
Well, just that our office is really going to miss Jerry, and I'm going to miss Jerry. A lot of people kind of underestimate just how much he knows and understands about government, and he's really like a statesman of Oldsmar, and we're going to miss him. I don't know what else can we say, Mayor?
I think we could probably roll a video that we may have.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. You had some mutton chops, didn't you?
Did you see his mustache?
I know. I almost didn't recognize you. Well, we're definitely going to miss you, and it's council comments, and we'll let you start.
I want to thank Gabby for his letter today, and just thank you for who y'all are. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Who's going to start saying that?
I know. We'll have to record it. Mr. Srecky.
Thank you, Mayor. I got a couple things. The Centennial Task Force had a meeting with the Tampa Bay Downs, and I wanted to share this with you. Janice Miller was an advocate for the Oldsmar Cup. And when we went to the meeting, Margot at Tampa Bay Downs was really insistent. She wanted to know what Jerry brought up today about the date that Oldsmar was born. So Jerry and I dug up the archives, and with Tom's help, we found that date. So we went back to Margot, and we told her the date. And she was like, Janice was so involved with the Oldsmar Cup, but what I hate about that Oldsmar Cup is it's the same day as the parade, and we can't get enough people from the city of Oldsmar to come celebrate. So Margot wants to change the date to the birthday of the city of Oldsmar. So this year, for 2015, the Oldsmar Cup will be Sunday, April 12th, the day of Oldsmar's birthday. And in 2016, for our centennial, it'll be April 10th, which is a Sunday. And each year we'll keep moving forward closer to that date. So I wanted to share that with you. And she is really excited about the centennial as other corporate sponsors, but I wanted to share that little story with you guys. Again, I want to thank Linda, Gabby, Doug, and especially Jerry for making the motion to let me be on the council for the past 8 weeks. I've learned so much from Bruce, Tom, the city staff. I love being on city council, and I just want you all to know I'm honored to be on your team, and thank you very much for letting me sit here. I really appreciate it. And with that, good luck to the candidates next week. Glad I'm not there. Miss that. And that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember McGee.
I had a couple things. One, just extend the condolences to Linda for your mother again. I'm sorry I couldn't be there on Saturday. Big thank you to Jerry. I know I wrote you that little note, but when I don't even know if I had closed on my house yet, and several people told me, you have to go talk to Jerry Beverland, he's the local historian and former mayor, and I sent him a letter, and he invited me over to his house, him and Wanda's house, and my mother and I went over there and sat in their kitchen and looked at old photos, and he took me into his secret artifact room, and just ever since that day, you have been such an inspiration to me, and it really is infectious, your passion for the city and the history, and it really does spill on to other people and other generations, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done, even for me personally, as a role model and as a friend, and you will definitely be missed, and we poke fun and we have a great time, and I'm definitely going to miss that about you, so thank you. March 14th, the Armadillo Run. I know Mike mentioned that. I will unfortunately be out of town. And then March 21st, I will be out of town the following weekend for work, but we have the Phil Fest, the Organic Garden open house, and the Garden Club fundraiser. So we have a couple things on the 21st. And then, of course, Oldsmar Days is coming up the weekend of the 28th, and the parade is the 28th at 11 a.m. And I also had a funny story about the daylight savings change. So Sunday morning, my mother texted me at 8:45 in the morning, and she said, "Oh, time change today." So my parents are just great. What would I do without them? I couldn't
Was she
survive it.
serious?
And I said, "I think that's next weekend." And she goes, "Why do all my clocks say 9:45?" And I said, "Dad, Question mark. A couple minutes later, she texted me and she said, "You're right, your father changed them all." And I said, "Poor guy can't do anything, right?" He's trying to be proactive. But so, yes, that is Sunday. Good luck to the candidates on Tuesday. And I thank you again for everyone that didn't run against me. I'm looking forward. Like Dan said, it was just, it's such a relief. And it seems like it flew by. I'm sure it doesn't feel like that for you all, but for me, I can't believe the election is next week. It just went by so quickly, so good luck. I mean, there's great candidates. And then looking forward to the swearing-in ceremony on March 17th at 5:30 for whoever is lucky enough to be elected to that seat. And then lastly, today, I sent you guys the email, but there was an article in the newspaper on the front page of the local section. It was talking about St. Petersburg trying to revamp their local preservation ordinance. So they have a couple historic districts within the city limits of St. Petersburg, and they also have a local preservation ordinance. It's 170 pages, I think the paper said, that they're looking to revamp the rules and regulations. And I wrote an email to the editor of St. Pete Times, Diane, after I read that article on it, because I said, I really feel like that article misrepresented the facts. I felt like the article portrayed historic districts as being kind of regulatory bodies and preventing homeowners from being able to make, changes to their houses and things of that nature if you want to put a new roof or change the color or a door. And in fact, historic districts have no regulations on external modifications. It's actually the local preservation ordinance that's governed by that city council that provides those restrictions. So I just let Diane know, I said, I think that article misrepresented the facts and put a negative light on historic district designations versus, if the city of St. Petersburg really has concerns about homeowners being able to redevelop their properties, they should look closely at their local preservation ordinance that they regulate versus putting kind of a negative light on a historic district designation, because the designation is simply a listing on the National Register, and it also allows homeowners within that district to apply for tax credits and grants and things of that nature to revitalize those properties. So there is no external modification regulation. And so I did send that email, and I hope that they'll put some kind of recant or something in an editorial about that, because I really think that hurts the efforts that, the city of St. Petersburg is trying to do and other historic communities are trying to do, because without those properties, you lose your charm, your character, and the whole reason of existing. So just wanted to mention that for anybody that read the paper today. And
that was a good letter.
And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I felt like you. I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am writing Diane. Before you know it, she's going to have me on first name basis.
Jerry, I did leave something out. I wrote right here, I am really going to miss sitting next to you. I forgot to say that.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Vice Mayor?
Just a couple things, and yes, good luck to all the candidates. I won't be here to see who's going to win, but I'll be monitoring it. I'm going to DC tomorrow on behalf of the city of Oldsmar, which I will represent proudly. And thank you to the city and everyone that came to my mom's service and had a part in helping with my mom's service. And I really appreciate everything. It was beautiful, and it was a true celebration of life. It really was. Enough time had gone by to where we could celebrate as opposed to be sad. So that was just, and my relatives all came in from all over the country, and from California, New York, Boston, everywhere, all across the country, and they were amazed at Oldsmar. They were amazed. And of course, I drove them up and down the streets and down, by the parks and everything, and showed them and told them all the history and everything. And they had not been used to, they've been to Florida before, but more like Orlando and concrete and big towns. And that's what they knew of Florida, or the beaches. So to find a small town feel in the state, they loved it, and they're all going to come back. And my cousin is actually looking to buy property so her and her husband can come back and live and retire here. So I'm really excited about that. And the Eagle release was awesome today. And I think that it's serendipitous that it happened today, with Jerry having this be your last meeting for a while. Hopefully one day you'll come back, and the name of the bird and where it was let off in our neighborhood, right down the road from your house and right next door to my house, and you being there, because you have been divine for this city. And when I first met you and your beautiful wife, we're neighbors, and we became friends, so neighbors and friends. when I decided to run for office, I was scared because I've done some young and dumb things in my youth, and I didn't think that I would be candidate material. And so I was nervous, but I went to Jerry's house and I sat down and I asked him what he thought. And he encouraged me to run. And he told me that it's what's in my heart and it's what I'm passionate about. And if I can be here to help the city, then any young and dumb things I did in the past doesn't matter. And I would not have run for this seat if it weren't for you, Jerry. I wouldn't. And you've been my mentor, and you've been my stepfather, and you've been my stepmother, and even in personal situations, my family lives in Tampa, so if something comes up that I need somebody, Jerry and Wanda are right there at my house, right there. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Jerry and Wanda are right there for me. So you've been my everything, neighbor, friend, mentor, stepfather. This city would not be the great city that it is without you. And I feel that I believe that your passion, your vision, you don't care what people think of what you're gonna say if you know what you're gonna say is right. And you say it with passion, and you don't care what the press says about you. You see ahead. You know 100 people are gonna come and maybe string you up because of the money that a sewer plant's gonna cost or the money that a water plant's gonna cost, but you still follow your conviction. You truly do follow your heart and your convictions. And you're a gem in the city, and I love you. And that's how I want to end my council comments, that I love you, Jerry. And I'm not going to miss you because I'm going to be bugging you all the time anyway.
You speak about the Eagle. My beautiful wife and I, during the 70s, had a small town newspaper here. And we wrote it. It was a horrible newspaper because there were so many mistakes in it, but I didn't care. The people actually enjoyed it, and they waited for it every Thursday. And what was the name of it?
The Eagle.
The Oldsmar Eagle. That was the name of it. In fact, the Historical Society has all the copies. 5 years of the Oldsmar Eagle.
So it's...
The second page belonged to me, and I wrote whatever I wanted.
I might have to go back.
And the third page belonged to the citizens, and I told them, whatever you write, now I'm going to print your letter, and whatever you write, I'm going to copy your letter. That's going to go in there. And I copied their letter word for word. It was fun.
Well, also, I wanted to say that I actually dressed symbolically today. Ruben's in the audience. I wore this dress.
I was going to say you.
I wore this dress when we were sworn in, the first female majority council. I wore this dress then. So I wanted to honor Janice. And on your last day, I wore flag earrings, because you're always wearing flags. And I wore the heart, because you're going to always be in my heart. So,
thank you.
That's it.
A couple things. Had the opportunity, I mentioned it at the last council meeting, I think I went and met a couple of the county commissioners, the new ones, and then the new chair, and it went really well. Just really wanted to make a connection with the county commissioners. I've got one more Commissioner Justice that I've got to meet with and really try and open the dialogue with them, although Janet Long and Commissioner Eggers are the ones that represent our area. The other ones are important too because they, will be voting on issues and we may need them, to help Oldsmar out. So it was a great meeting. Actually, Commissioner Long is coming March 31st and going to go with myself and the city manager and, tour the city and show her about everything that's in Oldsmar. And so really looking forward to that. The day that I went was also the day that they had their city or their county commission meeting. And I just got to tell you, you don't know how lucky we are at their Citizens Open Forum. They have had to increase security. They're changing the way that they get in and out of the county commission chambers because they have people that regularly come and chastise the commission from Bible verses and things like that, to something about reclaimed water. I don't even really know what the guy was talking about, but knock wood that we don't have that. We have great citizens, so it was pretty interesting. And I saw them at a PSTA meeting the next day, and I said, "Is it always like this?" He goes, "No, we're missing a couple of them that normally come." So we're pretty lucky. Vice Mayor's going to Washington. I'm going to Tallahassee March 25th and 26th, part of the Pinellas delegation that's going to go up and lobby for a couple of different things. And that was kind of at the request, as I understand it, of Senator Latvala, that he thought that we should go up and really try and go into their house and talk to them about some things. And I'm also on the board of the PSTA, and I'm on the legislative committee for them. And so we're going to go up, and we've got a couple of items that we're going to talk to them about for funding and things like that. So I'm excited about that. And then Jerry, I can't tell you enough how much I respect and appreciate you as a person, you as a leader of the city, both on council and as a mayor. I got involved with this city before I ever even moved here. I worked for a country radio station, and I would get involved with the chamber and Oktoberfest and come out and host the event, and really found a passion for this city. And, that was 25 years ago, before the city even got to where it is now. And I know we commend the city manager and the staff, but it's also your passion and your love for it. And I was involved with my homeowners association, and as I said, I was involved with the chamber, but it was the passion, and I think we've all said that, it was the passion that you have for this city. And it's not for Jerry Beverland, it's for the city and the residents. And I think the reason I ran was because of you, and I think everybody that even considers running for city council, the first thing they do is come to Jerry and Wanda's house, and they always open their door, and you'll tell them how it is, and I've seen you on council, and whether you like it or not, you're going to hear Jerry's opinion on whatever the item is. And I think that's what's great. And I think, I'm kind of beat to a different drummer myself sometimes, and it's nice to know that that there's an opportunity to do that and your voice be heard. And it's because it is genuinely, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, because of your passion that I ran for council and that I ultimately ran for mayor. And it's, I hope I could do half the job that you've done. So I want to thank you, and I thank Wanda. You're two terrific people for this city, and I know you're not going anywhere, but we're definitely going to miss you. Older than dirt. I can't believe that I didn't really realize when I said it a couple of months ago, and I said, "You've only got 5 meetings left." I didn't realize how many times I was going to hear that, and I don't think it had dawned on you at that time when I said you only had 5 meetings, and he was just he came to I think I was at the city clerk's office when you came in, and he's like, "I never realized it, that I've only got," he was like a sad little boy, just, but we're truly going to miss you, and thank you for everything that you've done for me and for the city of Oldsmar. And we can't say it enough how great you've been for this city. So
y'all have been incredible. All of y'all, the city staff. Thank everybody.
Thank you.
One person doesn't do a thing by themselves, not one thing. It takes a whole group of people to make something a success. Not one, but it takes the group.
Yeah, and I think that's what's great about this council and past councils that I've served on with you is that when I got asked about the candidates running, I said, I don't really, I've got to pick whoever, as when they were running for your seat. I said, I've got to work with whoever gets elected. And I think what's great about this city, and believe me, I've talked to leaders of other cities, and it's not like ours, that although we may have, and this is what the reporter asked me, and I said, I've got to work with either one. I said, but although we may have different opinions and we may not all vote the same, I think what we do have, and I think that's a lot because of Jerry and past councils, is that we all share the same vision, I think, for the city. Mm-hmm. We may differ on opinions, and we may get, 4-1, 3-2 votes, but I think we have the vision, and I think, that's the great part of this city, and that's something that, you definitely have been a part of. So we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Bruce, Tom, no. Kathy, Ann? No? Well, thank you so much.
Kathy crying. No. Thanks, Gabby.
I'm about to cry.
Yeah,
If she cries, I cry.
Yeah, so we'll definitely miss you, and good luck to the candidates that are running. It's a fun process, but boy, does it wear you out. We could make a motion to extend it another month if you want, Dan. If there's no other comments, I need a motion for the tentative agenda.
Jerry?
You got it.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Passes 5-0. Thank you.